My goal today is to make it to the world's strangest border, where China meets North Korea and Russia. An odd place for sure, as it features a border corridor so small that you could throw a rock from Russia to North Korea over China. And it would only be a minute's walk to traverse all three nations, well, if it wasn't for all the barbed wire.
This is the launching point for our last mission to the Chinese border, and the riskiest one, because this is the area just south of here where two journalists from the West were abducted by North Korean soldiers, taken across the border, and detained.
The main reason that I wanted to come here is simple. My goal was to drive the entire length of the North Korean border, and this is the last stop. A place where tiger meets bear, along with their problematic but still quietly loved second cousin that has been slowly increasing their global stage presence. What makes this border risky is not necessarily due to insecurities or disputes, but rather the fact that foreigners aren't really welcome here at all. On the Russian side, you'd be arrested. In North Korea, arrested. But here in China, there's a bit of a loophole. You see, public transit restrictions don't really work on me since I have a Chinese driver's license. But if you saw my last video, you know that I got blocked anyways, and I had to make a slight detour. But I have a good feeling about today, so let's see how things go.
Now you can get a better daytime view of the city of Yanji, the capital of the Yanji Prefecture or province in China. So, some context. This city is home to over 2 million ethnic Koreans that fled during various civil wars starting in the 1800s, as well as a Japanese occupation. We got rid of our cameras this morning to make sure that we'll be able to hopefully get through the security checks, but no foreigner crosses this area. In fact, foreigners are only just recently even allowed to be here. So today we're heading towards the Russian and North Korean border, three-way border point.
Strangely enough, this three-way border was never meant to exist and only does thanks to a man named Cheng Qi, a Chinese representative assigned to work with the Russians over formalization of border markers. Unfortunately for China, Cheng Qi was a little too addicted to opium and was busy getting high in Jilin, letting the Russian state representatives do the border survey independently. They manually wrote in a 17-mile line in their favor, forcing China to forfeit their access to the Sea of Japan. But anyways, I've now left Yanbian, passing through new construction Chinese-Korean villages and an increasingly wide countryside with mildly deteriorating road conditions.
Back on the North Korean border, and this one is a little different. It has two border fences instead of one, but the newer one was built more recently after a spike of crimes from North Korean citizens and North Korean soldiers crossing the river in the winter time when it's frozen. And there was a big case in 2014 where a North Korean soldier murdered and raped two people in a border town just maybe 10 minutes from here. A lot of this stuff, I mean, it's in Korean and Chinese, but this is a Korean village. Let's find a little mini mart somewhere. Okay, most random stop. Welcome to Laoguan. I have no cell service, so I can't pay with anything other than cash. Okay. Okay.
There's actually two per.
Oh, do we? Oh, okay. 谢谢. Bye bye. See you. That was nice. The woman working there gave us a bunch of the bottles for free. And said I was handsome in Chinese. Goodbye, Langguan and convenience store lady.
Inching closer to the border corridor, I'm starting to see Russian influence in the most Chinese way possible, as we seem to pass by a Russian-themed amusement park sitting right next to a nuclear power plant.
in the distance, those hills over there are Russia, and those hills over there are North Korea. The only report I could find for this area on all of the internet, I had to translate it, was that foreigners would be turned away at a checkpoint up here because they're banned from public transit. So the police get on the bus and they check everyone's documents, and then if you're foreign on said bus, then you're kicked off. This person reported they got kicked off the bus and then had to somehow get a taxi back. Our loophole is that since we have a car, we can't get kicked off of public transit. So I get to find out if that loophole is successful in just a moment. Got a proper border check. The first one of this route. Okay, I guess we just carry on. Alright, that's good. Moving on. How am I supposed to know? I guess everyone that drives this road is probably local. That's police right there. Yeah, he's got surveillance. I mean, he's probably affiliated with police. He had a surveillance items on his roof. The guy behind us also has surveillance items attached to his vehicle. Yeah, the Russian border fence, and then North Korean border fence, and then our tiny little road sandwiched in between it. Yeah, there are so many cameras on this road, it is ridiculous. This place is locked down, and right now we're about maybe like 2 miles away from the point where 2 journalists were kidnapped by the North Korean military. Surveillance towers every few hundred meters. And on the North Korean side, it just looks like nothing. Big, empty, rolling plains. This tiger that's been showing up everywhere. And it's because this area has the highest density population of Siberian tigers in the world.
Unfortunately, my audio was destroyed by the wind. We found some type of communist unity landmark along with a very abandoned outhouse at the Russian border fence.
It's oh my god. A Russian-themed adventure park. We'll stop and take a glance. This is fucking stupid. You can get burger, you can get kebab, you can get meat jelly in a tube, Russian imports. Who needs that when you have, let's see, deer, some heron, some camels, and the reason Russia came up at all, you have the Church of Spilled Blood right here in China at the North Korean-Russian border. What a fucking bizarre place. And a happy sunshine. Everything that a cultured man would desire. And it's all built on a sand dune. Unfortunately, I don't have time to go on the Russian sand dune, but
It's time to leave, only minutes now from the 3-way border point, passing bizarre European-themed tourist projects along the way, although they don't seem like they've had much upkeep or really any visitors.
that is the end of the road. You know, made it to the border post. We have Russian, Chinese, Korean, with a bit of English hidden in the mix. And it's a fucking tourist site. And I knew it would be to an extent, right? But I spent 4 days driving across super militarized areas, getting turned down by police, being told about all these sinister things happening at the border. And it's all just kind of well, the end of the road wasn't so interesting now, was it? Well, let's go find this monument. Let's find the border. It came all this way after checkpoint after checkpoint. More police scrutiny, my bags being searched. We've reached the cute and cuddly end of our treacherous journey. Stumbled. I have no idea. The sound of gunshots in the distance. Might be police or military training. I mean, we are on a very sensitive border. This is supposedly a ferry terminal on the river to North Korea. It doesn't look like it's been used in a very long time. Let's get a glimpse into the North Korean area. A wide section of the river here. Oh, and you can see a bridge in the distance heading into North Korea from China. The very edge of the Chinese border has one last bridge into the North Korean side.
It's so windy. All the way from the North Korean ferry terminal, I could hear Russian techno music coming from a shop nearby, so I decided to go check that out.
Upbeat Russian electronic music with the sound of gunshots in the background. Fucking bizarre place. Oh, this. Listen. Oh.
Did this have Dr. Sausage?
Dr. Sausage.
Why does this have a...
Fuck if I know. Sea cucumber sausage
I'm gonna take a picture.
from Russia. Yeah, Joseph Stalin. Stalin.
128是吧？这是干红嘛，干红有2个，可以选一选。
That's the good stuff.
还有96度的，
Ah.
它稀释了和不能直接
Oh dear God.
Yeah.
不能直接喝。
That's a
这还
crazy
小
one.
鸟伏特加56度酒。
Ah. There's
This
one.
is 56%. It's a
Ooh.
little bird brand. I don't actually
Little
have
bird brand. I see.
Cute.
Yeah.
Cute.
I'm trying Russian sausages. We have a bottle of vodka and some Russian pickles. Yeah. At the rave Russian border market. So stupid.
The Chinese built a border tower and a viewing deck, seemingly for tourists to be able to check in on their neighbors, who, dare I mention, don't happen to have their own fancy border towers. My guess is it's a supply and demand issue.
This area on the border, there's a museum of some kind, and it's labeled in Chinese as the Patriotism Education Hall. So let's learn about patriotism. Oh, there he is. Russian and Chinese friendship. Maybe it's deciding a border. Yeah, that's the last tower in the very corner, the smallest corner of China, where it intersects North Korea and Russia.
From up here, you can see trains heading to Kasan railway station in Russia, which theoretically would allow for you to cross Siberia to reach Pyongyang in North Korea through this bridge, which up until recently was closed for nearly 4 years.
I think that's okay. Alright. Behind me is the Last monument for the three-way border between China, Russia, and North Korea.
Why is it not in Russian?
Oh, yeah, Russia got neglected.
And this is the end of the road, literally, as there's nowhere else to go from here because neither the Russian nor the North Korean borders are open, not even for Chinese citizens here. So I suppose that all I can really do now is turn around.
That's kind of that for our anticlimactic journey to the world's most interesting border politically. All right, that's the end of the road for us. And the furthest southern point of northern China, and the furthest point that you can drive at the three-way border between Russia, China, and North Korea are anticlimactic end, but what a journey it has been. It's been okay. But the view is nice on the way out. Look at that. Can you believe it's 4 p.m. and the sun's already set? The far north.
I don't know.
What should I say? What should I say to the public?
I don't know.
Come on, help me.
For what?
I'm closing. This is the end of a video.
This is the end of the video.
This is the end of a video.
This is the end.
This is the end. Getting sent off with gunshots. Until next time, towards further bits of northern China.
While in many ways this trip was anticlimactic, but I thought it was pretty interesting. The people here are friendly, the food is good, and although the wind in these plains is pretty unbearable, I enjoyed my time following the border these last few weeks. On the way out, I get to enjoy more culturally delicate Chinese scenery like the illuminated neon bastardization of Russia. I can't imagine the purpose in building something like this, but that's one of the reasons I like being in China. And that's because it's one of the few places that I've yet to understand fully, and at this rate probably never will. But anyways, thank you for watching and subscribe if you're interested, because next week I'll be driving through the snow to China's deep north to find some very bizarre adventures.